That's you!
What was that?
Oh, I hate this hay fever. I don't know where I got it. Oh, how'd you sleep last night, son?
Standing up as usual, Dad. Actually, I was pestered all night with a flying hypodermic needle.
And just what is a flying hypodermic needle,
A
son?
mosquito! Hey, look up! Look, Dad, wake up properly. There's some birds circling over the field.
Shoo! Stoner crows! Fancy having to work now. It's breakfast time.
Yeah, I like to stone some crows. Look, there's more coming in for their brekkie.
Oh, no. Shoo! Get lost, will you? Go and eat at Simon's place. Go and eat his crops. Go
Yeah,
on.
sure, go. If you don't get out of that corn, I'll get my machine gun.
Hey, hang on, son.
What's wrong?
Machine guns haven't been invented yet.
Yeah, I know that, Dad, but the birds don't know. Hi, Oscar. Hey, Oscar, that tickles. No, Oscar, not me hands, Oscar. Get out of it, Oscar.
Yeah.
Go and shoot. Oscar's pinching me hay, Dad. Hey,
Oh,
go and
Oscar.
scare some crows, Oscar.
Good idea. Go on, Oscar.
Go on,
get lost.
Go on.
think
Funny
so.
old fella.
Yeah.
What were you saying about Simon's house, Dad?
You know, poor old Simon, son, he reminds me of a fence.
You got me stumped. Why is he like a fence?
Well, he runs around a lot and doesn't go anywhere. Always trying to be religious, always trying to be noticed.
But I really think he loves his fellow man.
Yeah, and so does a cannibal. Hey, that's interesting. Simon's asked Jesus in for a meal.
Oh.
And look, some of the townspeople are going in to have a look, including Rebecca. If I know Simon, he's planning some nasty scheme for his visitors.
What do you mean, Dad?
Well, some of the Pharisees, like Simon, are religious leaders amongst the Jewish people, and some of them don't like what Jesus says and does.
Hey, shh. Quiet, Dad. Here comes that young David, and he's looking for his dad.
Arms for the poor!
Excuse me, mister, have you seen my dad anywhere?
Get lost, kid. Can't you see I'm busy?
Oh, sorry.
Arms!
Hey, lady, have you seen my dad anywhere?
Yes, as a matter of fact I have. I've just seen him over there, in the house of Simon the Pharisee. Oh, there'll be sparks flying over there very soon.
Oh dear, okay, I'll go and find him now. Bye! Hey, excuse me, mister. Is my dad in there? Is my father inside?
You shouldn't be here, boy. Go home.
Hey, but I want my dad.
Go away, boy. You shouldn't hear such things.
But what things? I want my dad. What's going on?
My boy, you know Simon the Pharisee?
Yeah, I know him. He's the one with the big head and tummy to match.
Quiet, boy. You want to get us thrown out of this house and the synagogue as well?
No, I don't.
Now, as I was saying, Simon's invited Jesus the teacher for a meal. And when Jesus arrived, Simon didn't greet him.
What? Didn't even kiss his hand?
Not only that, as if that wasn't a big enough insult, but he didn't even get a servant to wash his feet.
What?
Yeah, we think Simon is trying to trap Jesus by making him mad, by offering him such a terrible insult.
Oh, no. Hey, what's happening? Somebody tell me. Mister, what's happening?
A woman has just come forward near Jesus.
What kind of lady?
One who hates poverty worse than she hates sin. The woman is this great sinner from the other side of town.
Huh?
Oh, look!
What?
She's just come forward and she's standing behind Jesus' feet, and she's crying.
Oh, what did she do? What happened? What's she doing?
She's let down her hair. A woman in Israel never lets her hair down in public.
Boy, she's going to be as popular as a pork chop in the...
Just don't say it. Don't say it. Oh no, look, she's wiping Jesus' feet with her long hair. Oh, the atmosphere in here is so thick you could cut it with a knife.
Simon, I tell you, her sins, as many as they are forgiven. Woman, your sins are forgiven.
Who's this of a good
I
sin? So it's disgusting.
can't believe
Woman, it is your faith that has saved you. Go in peace.
Boy, I sure was glad to find you, Dad.
Oh, yes, yes.
That was exciting,
Oh,
wasn't it?
it was, son.
Hey, Dad, if only God can forgive sins, and Jesus forgave that lady,
Yes?
is Jesus God?
Well, Jesus has healed many people. He has raised the dead.
Yeah.
And if God ever visited his people, I would expect him to do these wonderful things and have kind, loving words to sinners like Rebecca.
And Simon?
Oh, yes, even Simon, poor fellow. He proved to everyone in the village today that even he is a sinner and needs forgiveness.
Yeah, and that poor lady, she loved Jesus a lot, didn't she?
Oh, that's right.
And it was because he forgave her lots and lots of sins, didn't he?
Oh, yes, indeed. He said your sins are forgiven and remain forgiven.
Yeah, and we should be like Rebecca, right, Dad?
What?
I mean, we should put our faith in him as well.
Oh, yes, I see what you mean. Yes, son, this we will consider.
Hey, that was a good story, wasn't it, Gerald?
That was, Tiny. Hey, would you like to hear another story?
Oh, yeah.
I've got one here about a donkey who dressed up in a lion skin.
He what?
He dressed up in a lion skin. He got sick of being a donkey, and he decided he wanted to be king of the jungle.
Well, so he got a crown and pronounced himself king, eh?
Not exactly. You see, Tiny, the king of the jungle is the lion. And poor old donkey thought if only he could look like a lion, he would be king of the jungle.
Yeah, and he would call himself King Leo and just be lying around all day.
Okay, maybe. Anyway, Donkey went to the hippopotamus and he asked his advice. Hippo, he said, how could I become the king of the jungle? And Hippo answered, first you must look like a lion.
Oh, my teacher said once, I look like I was lying.
And what happened?
I better not tell you.
Okay, perhaps not. We'll have that story another time.
Yeah, get on
Well.
with the story.
Okay. Anyway, Donkey found a lion skin and he put it over his body. And he was very proud of himself. And he said, I am the king of the jungle.
And all the animals brought him presents, didn't they?
Not exactly, Tony. Because, you see, all the animals were laughing at him behind his back.
Oh, I know. He was making a silly sausage of himself, wasn't he?
Your jokes, Tony. Anyway, finally Donkey met his match.
I know, his girlfriend.
Not that kind of match.
Oh,
He met a lion, and the lion let out a great roar that filled the jungle.
and the donkey let up.
And Eeyore, Eeyore.
Sounds like a police car.
Well, I tried. Even though poor old Donkey tried to look like a lion, he didn't sound like a lion. It was his voice that gave him away, you see.
Oh. Well, what happened to the poor old donkey then?
Well, as the story says, whenever you see a lion skin on the floor of the jungle...
Yeah? Don't look, the king's undressed.
No!
Uh,
Whenever you see a lion skin, if you listen carefully,
Yeah?
you can still hear poor old Donkey running and crying, Eeyore, Eeyore.
oh.
You see, Donkey tried to be a lion, but his voice gave him away. Do you know what, Tony? That's just like Simon in the story today.
Boy, what about him?
Well, Simon, if you remember,
Yeah?
thought that his religious clothes and all his rules would make him one of God's children.
Yeah, but they didn't, did they?
No. Do you know why?
Not really. Why?
Well, Jesus wanted to forgive both Simon and the lady.
Oh.
So, Tony, which one do you think was right with God?
The lady.
Why?
Well, I don't know. You tell me.
Well, because God forgave her sin and sent her away in peace. And that's just what she needed to be right with God.
You rang me to tell me what? Oh, is that so? Well, same to you. Oh, yeah? Well, good riddance. Boy, am I mad. Oh.
Grandson, maybe you have heard the saying that
nothing cooks your goose more quickly
Yeah.
than boiling temper.
Yes, Grandfather, but that bully, he made me so mad.
Even when people make us mad, there is still no excuse.
Hmm?
The old book says, be quick to hear, slow to speak, slow to get angry.
How is all that gonna help me when that bully rings me up and, he makes me so mad?
Well, let me give you an example. If you were to look into a mirror, what would you see?
Well, probably my hair all messed up.
No. If you looked into a mirror, you would see your face. If I took the mirror away, would you remember what you looked like?
Of course I would, Grandfather.
So, well, we looked into God's book of instructions.
Yes.
What did it say?
It said, something like, be quick to hear, and slow to speak, and slow to get angry.
Yes, so have you forgotten these words already?
Oh, no, Grandfather, I haven't.
So, when the bully rings again, say in your head, slow to get angry,
Slow to get angry.
slow to get angry.
Okay.
So, the bully is wrong, right?
Correct.
And way to stay right is remember the old saying, you cannot get rid of temper by losing it. Another thing you must learn,
Yeah.
to forgive the bully.
Forgive the bully. Can I ask you a question?
You can ask me a question.
Why didn't Simon like Jesus?
Well, Simon didn't like Jesus because Jesus was in Simon's home, and Jesus said to the woman who was there also, your sins are forgiven.
What's wrong with that?
Well, you see, Simon got upset with that because he thought that only God could forgive sins. And Jesus is God, and that's how come he could forgive those sins. Only Simon didn't accept that, but Jesus really is God. And tell me, why are you so upset today?
Cause.
Has it got anything to do with this piece of wood?
Yes, it has.
Well, what's the story with this piece of wood?
Last night my dad hammered those nails in every time I did something wrong.
Aha. And so what's the problem?
Well, that's why I came to you today.
Okay.
My mum already took out one.
Your mum already took out one, but you haven't got the rest out. So what happens if you don't get all of these nails out?
I don't get any pocket money.
Okay, well tell me, what was this nail here for?
Well, I was fighting with my sister.
Okay, well let me ask you a question. Have you been fighting with your sister this week?
No, I haven't.
Okay, well let's take this nail out. There you go. Let's solve one problem. And what was the next one for?
Well, my sister was having a shower and I turned on the taps on.
That's a very nasty thing to do.
Very funny, they should have heard her yell.
I can imagine all the yelling going on. That wasn't very nice. Well, have you been very, very extra kind to your sister this week?
Yes, I have.
Okay, well let's take another nail out of that wood. Right, well what was the next one for?
Well, it was because I was late for school.
So what's so bad about school?
Don't like it.
Well that's a problem. So what's the best thing you like about school?
Going home.
Oh dear, doesn't sound like you're going to have a good attitude if that keeps up. Well, have you been late for school any time this week?
No, I haven't.
Okay, well let's take another one of those nails out. Okay, well what was the next thing you did that was wrong?
Well, I gave my brother a black eye.
You gave your brother a black eye.
Yeah, you should say it.
And have you been fighting with your brother this week?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Have you been extra kind to your brother this week?
Yes, I have.
Okay, well let's take another one of those nails out. And what was this last one for? I don't like the look on your face. What was it for?
Well, you know that dog next door to my place?
Yes, I know that dog.
In our cat?
Yes, I know the cat.
I tied the cat's collar to the dog's collar.
You what?
Yeah.
That's not a very nice thing to do. In fact, I think that's very cruel.
I'm sorry.
Yes, well have you done anything like that this week?
No, I haven't.
Well listen, I tell you what. I'm going to take this out, but I never, ever want to hear you doing anything like that again, okay?
Okay.
I want you to look at that piece of wood and see this?
Yeah, all the nail holes.
Yes, all the nail holes. Sometimes we can be forgiven, but sin leaves its mark.
Yeah, like my brother's eye.
Now, like your brother's eye. It's like the lady in that story today. You and her have something in common.
What's that?
Well, both wanted to be forgiven. She wanted to be forgiven for a different reason. She wanted to have peace with her Creator God. And in the end, Jesus said to her, your sins are forgiven, go in peace.
Oh, hi, you two. I'm going to my dad's house to show my dad that the nails are all gone. Ah, it's funny, you know. Old Simon, he thought he was so good, but he wasn't forgiven. Then the lady, she was so bad, and she was forgiven. As for me, now I'm all forgiven. I'm going to do so many good turns, I'm going to get dizzy. Keep out of mischief.